12-team playoff.
Bang. I ain't taking nothing but win.
What's up, everybody? MoneyE here, back with another edition of the Unscripted Sports Show, episode 126. Back here for the college football week 12 picks and best bets and the 12-team college playoff 12-team playoff rankings, projected rankings, however you want to do it, projected rankings. Yeah. 12-team playoff projected rankings, number 2. Last week, I did 1, and I don't even know what number, what the rankings were last week. Yeah, last week. Let's go over what I had last week. My phone here. Last week, I had number 1, I had Indiana, Ohio State, Texas A&M, BYU at number 4. So those were the top 4 teams that would get bye week. It's not the top 4 conference champions anymore. It's just the top 4 teams that get the bye week this year. That's a change. And then I had Alabama number 5, Texas Tech number 6, Georgia number 7, Oregon number 8, Ole Miss number 9, Notre Dame 10, Virginia 11, and Memphis 12. And last week, the ranking last week, my picks, I went, we had it here. Best bet number 1, I had Memphis and Tulane over 53.5, and I think that hit, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? Yep. Hold on. I thought I had it. No. Hold on. Yep, right here. Week 12, week 11. Yeah, the Tulane versus Memphis over 53.5 I got. And then the second best bet I had was Indiana team total over 32.5. That didn't happen. They barely won. They won 27-24. So, yeah. And to recap my pick flat from last week, I don't think I at number 2, Indiana versus Penn State at Indiana winning. So I had that right. So I went, and then I had Georgia over Mississippi, had that right. Texas Tech over BYU, had that right. West Virginia over Colorado, had that right. Marshall over James Madison, had that wrong. Missouri over A&M, had that wrong. Iowa versus Oregon, had that wrong. And Alabama over LSU, had that right. So I went 5-5 last week, and I am 5-5 last week, 26-19 overall. Best bets went 1-1, 4-6 on my best bets. So, and now week 12. Week 12 picks. No Friday. All the games are starting tomorrow. Yeah, all the games I have is tomorrow. So let's see. Yeah, tomorrow. Notre Dame. First one is Notre Dame and Pittsburgh at 12 noon. Notre Dame at Pittsburgh, number 9. Notre Dame at number 22, Pittsburgh. I have Pittsburgh upsetting Notre Dame. I think I think Notre Dame are frauds. I don't think they're that good. I think Pittsburgh is actually a very good team. I think they can, and they're at home, so I think they can upset Notre Dame and end their playoff hopes and dreams of going back to the national championship or going back to the playoffs and then maybe national championship. But yeah, I have Pittsburgh winning 27-24. No, 34-27. I have Pittsburgh winning. Second game is South Florida, number 24, South Florida versus South Florida versus Navy. I have Navy winning, bouncing back after 2 straight losses, upsetting South Florida, winning 24-23 here. And that's yeah. I have them. I have South Florida getting upset by Navy 24-23. And so yeah. Then there's another upset I have. Next game, Arizona and Cincinnati. Right. Yeah, Arizona and Cincinnati. I have Cincinnati winning 26-23. It should be a good game. Both teams are have 6-3 Arizona versus 7-2 Cincinnati. So Cincinnati's number 25 team in the country. Cincinnati's trying to sneak into the playoff as a they're 12 teams, so they're trying to get to the Big 12 championship. They're still in the race. I believe they are. Let me check here. I want to see. Wait. Where is it? Rankings. No. Cincinnati. Cincinnati is third in the division. They're 5-1, 3-way tie with Texas Tech and BYU. So Cincinnati's trying to get to the Big 12 championship game, so they need to keep on winning. So I have them winning 26-23 in a great game. Maybe one of the best games of the weekend. So there's the next game. I have Oklahoma versus Alabama. Number 17 Oklahoma, 7-2 versus number 4 Alabama. At Alabama, of course, 8-1 Alabama versus 7-2 Oklahoma. I have Alabama winning 31-17, and Alabama keeps on rolling and improving to 9-1, keeping pace with Texas A&M as they're trying to. Alabama is trying to keep pace with A&M so they can get to the SEC championship game and face A&M. So that's the most likely SEC championship game is A&M versus Alabama. That's what I think is going to happen. They're gonna collide. I don't think they play each other coming up. So let's look at A&M's remaining schedule. They have South Carolina, Stanford, and Texas. They only have 3 games left. So yeah, they don't play Alabama. That's A&M. So Alabama and A&M are in the prison course. I'm only doing 5 games this week, so I might be doing 5 for the 5 games a week the rest of the season because it's getting towards the end, and I want to just focus on the playoff, mainly the playoff teams in the playoff contentions. So I might do 5. There might be a week or 2. I might do 10, but there's only a few more weeks left here. So there's this week, and then next week, and then Thanksgiving week. I think it's the last week. So there's only 3 weeks left. So I might only do 5 week, and then of course the bowl games I'll do in parts. So might be 3 parts again. I don't know. We'll see. Next game on the docket is Texas and Georgia. So this is the last game I'm doing. I'm predicting. I have Texas upsetting Georgia and giving Georgia their second loss of the season. Texas keeps pace, and Texas is wait, hold on, and I want to see where Texas is in the standings. Sorry, Texas is fourth. They are. It's a three-way tie for second. So not second, but Alabama and Texas A&M are both undefeated in the conference, which is hard to do in the SEC. But you have Georgia, you have you have Old Miss, Texas, and Georgia all 6-1 or 5-1 or 4-1 in the Texas case. They have Texas. I think they're 4-1, right? Yeah, Texas is 4-1 because I think they have more games left. Only have 3 games left. 1, 2, 3, but all from the SEC. So they go 7-1. I think they all have 8. Yeah, they all have 8 games. So yeah, Texas has 3 games left in the SEC. They're 4-1. The rest are Georgia and Ole Miss are 5-1, and I think Ole Miss is 6-1. So they're trying to keep pace with Alabama and A&M. Maybe one slips and they get this jump. I don't know how the tiebreaker would work if there's a 5-way tie for second place and A&M stays undefeated in the SEC and Alabama slips to, I don't know, Auburn in the last game of the season. Hint, hint. But as I said, I think it's going to be A&M and Alabama on a collision course in the SEC championship game in Atlanta. So, yeah, I have Texas upsetting Georgia here. Georgia went into Texas last year and beat them. I think Texas gets their revenge and beats Georgia. I think Georgia beat them twice last year in Texas and then in Atlanta. So Georgia won both games last year. I think Texas wins and they need to keep on winning. If Texas loses one more time, I think they miss the playoffs. I think they could miss the playoffs anyway because it's five conference winners that get automatic bid, and then the 7, and I think there's 7 teams that are better than Texas, and I'll show when I show my rankings. I think there is 7 teams that are better, so we shall see. Now, the college playoff. It will be on the bottom. My week 12 picks will be on the bottom, and then I'll reveal the top 12. So my top 12 this week is A&M. I have A&M number 1. I think they're the best team in the country right now. I know Ohio State's playing well. I know they're undefeated, but A&M beating Missouri, which I had Missouri winning. I thought that was going to be their. I mean, they have one more tough game. That's Texas, at Texas. So they might lose that game because they lose Texas. So they might actually lose that game. I thought there was going to be one game they lose in SEC, and I thought it was going to be Missouri, but it could be Texas. But right now, I think A&M is the best team in the country. Them and Ohio State, Indiana, 1, 2, 3. You could put it in any order. But this week, I have A&M number 1. I have have Ohio State staying at number 2. I dropped Indiana to number 3. So I flip-flop A&M and Indiana. Indiana didn't impress me this week. I take this week by week. Kind of. For the most part, week by week, these rankings. Indiana almost lost. Penn State almost upset Indiana. They were about a minute and a half away from winning. And then Indiana got the ball back and went downfield and scored that touchdown that they needed and took the lead. And yeah, they won 27-24. So impressive, not an impressive win. They should have killed Penn State. Penn State is not on their level. Sorry, Penn State fans, but they're not here. They last year, but not this year. Penn State should have got killed. But Penn State showed up and they gave Indiana all they could. Not that Penn State's not talented, but this year Indiana dominate every other game. Every game this season, they can't dominate Penn State at Happy Valley or Sad Valley, I like to call it these days. But yeah, Penn State came out guns blazing and they gave Indiana a fight, and that was Indiana's toughest game of the season, and they nearly lost. So I had to drop them to number 3. And then number 4 is Texas Tech. Texas Tech, I knew they were going to beat BYU, and they dominated that game. They won 29-6. BYU looked bad. I still have them in my rankings, but yeah, they were number 4 last week, and now Texas Tech takes that spot. So yeah, Texas Tech is number 4. They're Big 12 co-leader. No, they're the leader by itself. A&M is the co-leader with Alabama, and Ohio State is the co-leader with Indiana. Number 5, Alabama stays at number 5. And then I have Ole Miss dumping Georgia to number 6. And then Georgia stays at number 7. Oregon, number 8, stays at number 8. Georgia Tech jumps into the rankings because Virginia lost. Georgia Tech is the new ACC leader right now, even though the rankings projects Miami's going to win the conference. I have Georgia Tech winning the conference, and they don't play each other. They'll play each other in the Big 12 in the ACC championship game. Let me double check that, because I don't want to look like an idiot. I thought that they don't play each other, but they do. No, Miami has Virginia Tech and Pitt last 2 games. So I don't have Miami in the top 10, in my top 10. And then I have Notre Dame number 10, and BYU is number 11. And James Madison is the new non-Big Five, non-Power 5 conference is it Power 5? It's not Power 5 anymore. It's Power 4 because it's the SEC, the Big 10, the ACC, and the Big 12. There's no more Pac-12, so it's the Big 4 now. So James Madison jumps into the jump. They are the 5th. They are that 5th team. That 5th conference winner that gets in. They replaced Memphis, who lost last week. Memphis did lose. So James Madison is a new James Madison replaces Memphis in my top 12, and instead of South Florida, because the rankings have South Florida. Let's look at the rankings. Do that. This is updated. Yeah, this is updated. Yeah, so let me share this. So this is the week. This is not college football playoff week. Number 2 for the committee. This is the committee's top 25. Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, Oklahoma, BYU. Those are the 12, and Oklahoma is the first one out because they are replaced by Miami, fifth highest ranked conference champion. So the committee has Miami over Georgia Tech, even though Georgia Tech is leading the conference. You know, Georgia Tech is 5-1 in the conference, and Miami is 3-2. So I guess they have. I don't know how they have Miami ahead of Georgia Tech when if Miami wins out. They're going to be 6-2. In Georgia Tech, I mean, they only have 2 games left, and they're winnable. And they would be 7-1. Virginia, you could lose one more. Okay. Pitt, I guess because Notre Dame's not even a game. Okay, because Pitt plays Georgia Tech. Okay. And then Pitt plays Miami. So yeah, the committee is projecting Miami's going to get in the conference championship game, probably against Georgia Tech, and win it. So this committee is already project when they put these rankings, they're projecting who's going to win the conference championship, basically. So they're projecting Miami is going to beat Georgia Tech in the conference championship because Georgia Tech's number 16. So Miami is the 4th highest ranked conference champion. So they would probably be number 11, replacing Oklahoma. And South Florida, who is the 5th highest ranked conference champion in this rankings, would probably replace BYU. So their top 12 would be Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Notre Dame, Texas, Miami, and South Florida. So I have James Madison. I don't think they're giving any respect to James Madison. No respect for James Madison by the committee. Don't even have them in the top 25. They have South Florida, who's 7. I guess South Florida has a better schedule, but I put James Madison in that. With my rankings, I'm already projecting the top 12, and I don't have Miami in it. Here's the interesting thing is that there could be 2 non-Power 4 conference champions in the playoff. And like the ACC champion could very well be out if like South Florida and James Madison were ahead of them in the rankings. If South Florida and James Madison jump Miami, let's say Miami wins the conference championship. Just hypothetically, they win, but South Florida and James Madison somehow jump them. I don't know how would they jump them, but if hypothetically they did, because right now they don't. If James Madison and South Florida were to be ranked higher than Miami, and Miami is out, that means James Madison and South Florida are the fourth and fifth highest ranked conference champion ahead of the ACC champion. Miami could be out, but if Georgia Tech is ranked higher than South Florida and Miami, if Georgia Tech is ranked in the top 12, they could get at large. So I don't know if there could be a possibility where there could be 6 conference champion, and that 6 conference champion gets at a large bid. At a large bid. So the runner up in the ACC could be getting at large bid. Let's say Georgia Tech loses a close one to Miami, but they're ranked in the top 12. This is hypothetically. I don't know how this would. There's a scenario where the ACC champion. I'm using the ACC because they're the fifth. They're the fourth, fifth highest ranked. So there's a chance that the ACC champion could be left out, but a team from the ACC to get at large, and that could very well be the ACC champion. They might not get the top 5 and get an automatic bid, but they could still get at large. I think that could still work. So there could be 6 conference champions in the playoff, I believe. 5 of them automatic bids and 1 at large. So I think the 6 conference champions can still get at large bid. So there's that scenario where there could be. I don't know if a conference champion can get at large. Let's say James Madison, South Florida, or let's say let's say in this scenario, Georgia Tech is ACC champion, and South Florida is the fifth at large, fifth automatic bid, fifth highest conference champion, and then James Madison is good enough where they win out and they win the conference champion. Could they get at large over, I don't know, Texas? I doubt that. But is there a scenario where there's a 6th conference champion and that 6th conference champion is obviously at a large team? I don't know that if there's a scenario where that could happen, where there could be 6 conference champions. But committee right now has Ohio State. I guess that's the conference champion. Texas A&M, that's the conference champion. Texas Tech, that's the conference champion. And then the last 2 are Miami and South Florida, which I don't even have either one of them in my projected top 12. Or, yeah, I don't have them in my 12-team projected rankings myself. So I guess committee sees something in Miami where they're giving them the automatic bid, even though Georgia Tech is better. Yeah, so I guess the committee is just going by name. It's a U. In South Florida, I don't think they're better than James Madison. So, as I said, my top 12 will be right here. And now my best bets for week 12. Week 12 best bet. And that's Louisville versus yeah. One of the best bets right now. One of the best bets I have is going on right now. Last week. And that's Louisville and Clemson. So Louisville is one of my best bets. If I'm doing this while they're playing, so I forgot one of my best bets is Louisville, and Louisville minus 2.5 over Clemson. I actually am going to change that. So scratch that as my number one. So my best bet number one is not Louisville and Louisville 2.5. I changed that to my number two originally was Pittsburgh. With Pittsburgh money line over Notre Dame. And now that's Pittsburgh first half money line at plus 250 versus Notre Dame is my best bet number one now. My best bet number two is Navy plus 10.5 over where they're playing. Over South Florida. So plus 10.5 for Navy is my best bet number two. So those are my two best bets. It should be another good week. We have 3 weeks left. I'm looking forward to Alabama and Cincinnati and Arizona should be good, but I'm gonna miss that game. Alabama and Oklahoma should be a good game. Texas Tech, UCF should be interesting. Miami, NC State, blah. Iowa, USC is another good game. That's at 3:30. Virginia, Duke. Tennessee, what else? Florida, Ole Miss. Florida beat them last year. Utah and Baylor. UCLA, Ohio State. Yeah. And then Texas, the big one. Texas and Georgia. And TCU and BYU. The Texas and Georgia on ABC. Even though probably won't be able to watch that unless you have the app, because I won't get into the YouTube and YouTube TV and is ESPN Disney beef or whatever negotiations. I'm not gonna say anything about that because I think they'll get their stuff together. We'll get to an agreement eventually, hopefully by the end of the weekend. But yeah, I think that's it. And the rankings are at the bottom. Projected matchup. That's right. James Madison, number 12, James Madison, Alabama. Projected first round matchup for number 2. The second projected first round matchup. To have some changes. Number 12, James Madison at Alabama. Number 11, BYU at Ole Miss. Number 6, Ole Miss. Number 10, Notre Dame versus Georgia. That stays the same. And Georgia Tech versus Oregon. Number 9 versus number 8. The only one that stays the same is Notre Dame and Georgia. So, I think they met last year. So, yeah. I think, everything else was different. It should be a good week. 3 more weeks, as I said, left. and we're coming up on the end of the season. I can't believe it. I mean, I was gone for a month, so I didn't do the show every week this year, but I will be doing show every week from here on out until the national championship. I'll do the bowl games, predictions for the bowl games, and probably 3 parts, maybe. I'm I might do selective games. I don't know yet, but see what the schedule looks like and how I can fit all these stuff in. But yeah, so for MoneyE, listen to the cartoon show tomorrow. Um, we just did listen to watch my MLB season recap. I did before the Russian show, and this comes after the Russian show. So I did 3 shows today. So and listen to our review on the Clash of the Champions 4 season's beatings with myself, Daniel, Doug, and Cliff. Fun episode. And next week on the show, we'll be doing top 10 WCW flops. So that should be fun. So for MoneyE, later, guys.